Hi, hi. Hi, hi. Like of America. Probably need to get one of those things again that stabilizes the phone so it doesn't shake and move when you're walking around. Because I know that's super duper annoying. I hope you can hear me. There is a slight wind outside, which you can probably hear. Also, the little hat, a little scarf. My mum made me that. She already managed to send it to me here, and it has arrived, which is really cool. I know my mum watches my videos, so hi mum. Making use of the goods. So anyway, what I want to talk to you about is things that we want, right? Like manifesting things that we want, and sometimes we get very rigid and stressed and attached to thinking the way something should work or should work out or go a particular way. And like we think, oh, we didn't take this opportunity now, it'll never come again, blah blah. But in reality, that I keep finding out, if something is yours, like it'll be yours. Like one way or another, it'll come back and it'll be okay. And that's what this story is today about. I wanted to link it with that, really, like with trying to give you reassurance of really, if you want something to happen in your life, right, you don't need to be so rigid and like grabbing on for dear life to it super duper tight and painfully and everything else. Like, want it and watch it happen in the background, I swear. Like, make a little dream or write a little thing somewhere, write on your list of things you really, really want, and then, in a way, forget about it and do positive actions towards making it happen, every day, or, as time permits. But, like, don't go crazy, like, extremely tight, holding on to it and stomping and crying if it's not happening literally straight away. And the thing is, like, the story that I'm about to tell you, that you see, like, if something is yours, or if you're meant to experience something, it's like, have you ever heard that until you've learned your lesson, the things will keep happening the same way in your life, right? You must have heard it too, yeah? So similarly, yeah, I'm just trying to make it so it's not super shaky. Similarly, if something particularly good or something particularly like a certain way that needs to happen in your life, it will come to your life. And if you're not saying yes to it now, or you would not have like learnt your lesson at that period in time, like, gosh, just wait, it'll come back again. Like, I swear. One thing, like, life is short in the sense that, yes, we need to say yes to the opportunities that we have now, and we grab onto anything that feels right and aligned in the moment. But two, if you choose not to, we choose not to learn that particular lesson that period in time, it'll come back. It'll come back to you, and it'll keep coming back to you until you either learn the lesson or you say yes to it or something else, right? If it's meant to happen in this lifetime for you. So there's my little intro for you for the day, because I honestly feel like I've been shown that over the last, however many years, through COVID, through moving between like 4 different countries and just going through different things in life. Honestly, just trust the process. It's really hard to let that happen. And sometimes we do have certain views on how we think everything should happen. And we try and tell life, do it this way for me. And maybe it will in just a little bit of time. So just let go. Work towards the things that you want. Like, for example, if you want to be a doctor, you can write it on a piece of paper, but unless you start learning how to be a doctor and like get work experience and start working in that field, like, it's not going to happen, right? So like, you do need to do actions, but not necessarily get extremely attached or hold on really tight to the actual result, like how it will happen. It'll happen because, in all honesty, good things will happen in your life. If you're a good person, if you're a well-wishing person, if you're trying to add value, do good in the world, say, gosh, it'll be okay. Okay, let me show you a bit of where I'm walking. So as you can see, we're in Lansing and Michigan, which is a town in Michigan, and we are in February. So we're sort of in mid-Feb right now. So as you can see, there's snow, but yes, I'm wearing trainers because there are a couple of trails where I've been running, especially on the days, like in the weekend days when it's sunny and during the daylight hours, because I can't really do that at the moment during work week. So I do that during the weekend, and I make an effort because I love exercising outside. And I genuinely hope you get some value out of this one way or another. Yeah. And I'm just doing a quick run to a couple of shops here, not too far from where I'm staying, and while I'm waiting for my drone to charge, because we are gonna go flying. Okay. Alright, okay, bye. Hi boys and girls. Let me just, oh my gosh, this light is insane. Which way is better? Maybe like, I don't know, maybe this way a little bit. Say hi to little cow. So by the way, I am in my hotel room. No, I don't like this light. Maybe like this is better. Right, so I'm in my hotel room here at Lansing. It has been a month and a half since I arrived in the United States. It has been a whirlpool of all kinds of excitement and activities and learning experiences and a whole lot of work. Maybe I'll give you a little quick look-see at my room. So as you can see, this is just a little blankety thing that the hotel gave me because I've been cold. But here's my bikey. It has arrived a little while ago and it's just sitting there waiting for, well, one, to be no snow, but two, just waiting for, better weather for me to relocate to my apartment, which now I have. Just a bit of stuff there. A bathroom and a shower at the back here. What I do like is like a closet. I have a bit of a closet. I don't have an extreme amount of clothes, as you can see, but I have some key things. I've been really vibing the jackets lately, especially it is in tune with the weather we're having, and wearing the jackets is really good, obviously in the office when it's cold and so on, but it also makes you look a bit more professional and grown up. A couple of warm woolen things. I actually bought this one still in Perth, but this little jacket I have, and I'll show it to you later on. I've been getting so many compliments on it. It's insane. I bought it here. It's like a little coat that looks like that. It has these wide collar things. I'll do a little video or a picture when I am wearing it one of these days soon for you. And it is a bit of a mess out here. But anyway, we're just doing a bit of a recap because I know that you and I are going to be like the bestest of friends for the next bunch of years. And I'm so thankful for you tuning in. Thank you. So anyway, you can see my other bike is here. So this one is actually one of my trail bikes, my bike touring bikes, the Narco Search. If you may remember it from back in the day that I had it and been riding it all across different places before COVID land has hit us and we couldn't go anywhere. But anyway, I brought it with me and I have a few boxes of stuff with me. I have my bike trainer, which I like lived on in Perth. It's been like one of my things that I use heaps and heaps. That box at the bottom there is actually my cool new activity called scuba diving. I'm absolutely obsessed with it. It's super duper cool, love it. So do that. A few boxes addressed to my hotel. Basically, just want clothes and stuff, and a couple of other bags with bits and pieces. So that's my gear that I moved with to US with for the next couple of years. And it all arrived just a few weeks ago now. It arrived sort of 3 or 4 weeks into my time in US, and it's just sitting here waiting for some things I haven't packed, some things I will unpack once I move into my new apartment, which is actually, if you can see, just behind this hotel. So this is a hotel, this place, this building here. And I will be like more closer to that water tower. Do you see the water tower? The little, oh yeah, over there. See? The little green and white one. So you'll see me over there in a little bit. And then I just have like a little table here. I'm playing with some video uploads on a few different platforms for stock video photos and things. And a little kitchenette. And that's about it. But what I did want and felt extremely inspired and driven to basically sit down and or start making, nah, it's not gonna work. Felt very motivated to basically just turn the camera on and have a little chat with you and throw this, idea at you. A lot of people have been asking me or questioning my sensibility. Well, I don't know if you want to call it sensibility, but they've been asking me like, why would you move to the US? Like, life is so short, shouldn't, like, you're finding it challenging, like you have all these different things that are not necessarily going extremely smoothly. And to that, sorry, I know I keep on like fiddling. Is this better? Okay. So I want to address, and I felt very motivated to turn on the, there you go. Is this better? So I felt very motivated and inspired to really turn on the camera and do a little blurb about why I'm here, because I feel like people just don't get it, and I'm being challenged a little bit and being asked like, what is like your problem? Basically, like, you have this epic life set up in Australia, you've gone through like this crazy whirlpool in the beginning when it was really hard, and it's set up, you have a cool job, you have activities, like you kind of started building like a few connections and have a bit of a community that you like work with and do stuff with. And look, like, I get it, but I feel like I've had, and maybe it is because I'm Russian, I don't know, but I've had that since I was a kid. I had this image of going to America and wanting to experience that. And I remember that very first time I came to America, which wasn't actually the big cool bike trip. Some of you may have seen it on my channel, but it was a little bit earlier than that. I was still at university at that time, and I came over to America. I went to New York and I went to Niagara Falls, and I also did some traveling through Canada, and I just loved it. It blew me away, and just of the range of different things happening. It felt very fun and interesting, and something was just really pulling me here. And I don't necessarily have my heart set on living in New York. Like, I did a little bit like maybe 15 years ago, like really wanted to try that. I don't necessarily need that anymore right now, I don't feel, but I still really wanted to have that experience of living in the US. And it's really funny because I feel like I've had this want for so long, like I can't even like how it started. I don't know, maybe it is from being Russian and watching that on movies and TVs and kind of romanticizing the life in the US and seeing all the different opportunities you can get here, different things that are happening here at different times. But I remember that it was something that I wanted, but obviously as a little kid we moved to New Zealand and that was that. And I mean that was like enough for me as a 15-year-old kid. Like obviously it was plenty. And then I remember being reminded of my really deep want to experience life in America when I was back at university. And I basically had this trip to the US and I thought, oh my gosh, it's exciting. And I actually started looking. That was before I started my master's in biofuels, and I was looking at apartments in New York. I was seeing how much rent was. I actually made a few connections when I came here that first time, and I was trying to figure out like what job I could do. And amusingly enough, I was even like, it's a bit of a sidestep, but I had a friend at that time who was like sort of trying to date me, and he's like, so I don't care if you want to live in America for a few years, like I'll be here for you, we'll make it work, we can do long distance. So like it was really, really aligning. Like I could really like go and move and be here, and I had like started getting connections and kind of working out that process. And of course ideally I wanted to be able to use the degree which I've been studying to live here and do that work as an engineer or, you know, professional working in renewable energy. Now, that sort of thing didn't happen. I didn't end up moving to the US at that time when I was like just finished with my bachelor's degree. What happened then is that I started doing masters in biofuels. I got a cool sort of project in Wellington that I was living in, and I loved Wellington at that time, and I was dating somebody else again, not that person that kind of crossed pathways with on that trip to Canada and US that first time. And basically that didn't happen. I was doing my master's, dating somebody else, living in Wellington, having an amazing time. And then again, like literally a year and a half later, I meet a professor at a conference from a university here in North America. And he's like, oh, it was at a conference that I was presenting my research in New Zealand. And he was like, love your work, loved your presentation, you sound very intelligent and smart. How about, like, are you interested in doing an exchange into university here in US or in, sort of southern parts of Canada, which is like basically around Toronto area. Like, do you want to come here, live here for a year or for whatever, and just experience that and do some research at our university, and we can work it out, sponsoring and all that sort of stuff. And I really liked that idea at that time, but I wasn't as game on it. Like I did want to do it, but I decided not to do it because I was really vibing going to Europe at that time, which I did, and I spoke at a bunch of conferences there and kind of was trying to make that happen. And that all kind of whirled into me moving to Australia, because then at that time I was sort of dating someone again long distance. And we kind of decided that, Australia was awesome. And he got a job in Australia. And I say he. And I just kind of finished my master's and moved over with him, which was fine, again, because it was a new country, new experience. And I, got a job after 6 months in the engineering energy field, which then evolved into working in renewable energy, where I am at the moment, which I really did want to do in the first place after I finished my uni. So with that, I lived in Australia for 9 years. It was, all kinds of things. Had over the last, 4 or 5 years, just the most epic job, like absolutely loved it. Especially the last 2 years in Perth have been just like, I've never had such an epic time in my life, ever. Like, of course, I felt lonely and sad at times, and it was a new city, new place, and all that sort of stuff. But I had a really good time, and it was really aligned with what I want to be doing professionally with my life, and I could use, professional skills that I've developed. So that was all good. And during my time in Australia, again, I visited US a few times. I had a great time most of those times, different times, personal growth and so on. But again, it's really funny because I got a job, right? And I was working for this company, and they sent me to US for a few weeks, sort of a year and a bit into my role there. And I was like, oh, remember that? You actually wanted to live in US. And I loved it here. Like, when I got here, and just it was so fun and so cool. And I was reminded, I'm like, oh yeah, you really wanted to live here, by the way. So I was like, okay. So starting, from uni, even from childhood, like it kind of went through a little kid, sort of romanticizing, thinking about that life in the US I could have, moving into sort of graduate, postgraduate world, or even like bachelor's graduate, wanted to move here, postgraduate, wanted to move here. But then I would forget about that in the middle, but I just kind of have it out there as an idea, and then it kind of popped up again, and I was like, oh yeah, that's right, that's what I wanted. Suppose maybe I'm working towards it, maybe it will happen, we'll see. And then again, moved here, got the job that actually did send me to US for 3 weeks last time. So I got here and I worked here, had an amazing time, loved it, wanted to experience that. And then COVID happened. And I think it was good that it happened when it happened, because I still actually got to go and live in Perth for a while and had just the most epic time there. I can't even, I'm just gonna have to figure out how to show you all of the epicness that is Perth and Western Australia, I swear. And then you go with that, and you move 2 years down the line, and I get offered this insane opportunity by the company I work for, and basically stating, hey, we noticed you've been working hard, you've been doing a great job. Woo-hoo! How about we challenge you to live in another country and work in a whole new team, a whole new culture, get a bunch of new skills and new experiences, and develop that and live in the US for a couple of years. It was such a clear, instant yes. It wasn't even will or not. Of course, when you get such a big sort of decision to make, an opportunity presented, you question it a little bit and think about it, weigh out the options. But in all honesty, deep down, it was never a question, yes or no. It was yes, yes, because it's just been coming and appearing and making its appearance in my life over the past however many, few decades, seriously. And it's without me, it wasn't really me forcing it or pushing it or trying, it just kept on appearing and reappearing. And when you have something like that deep down in your life, and it keeps on coming to you, and you keep being reminded, oh yeah, that is something that I really wanted to do, or it is something that it's just it, I need to do this. And I'm not saying that I'll be here forever. right? And I'm not saying that this is it, but I feel like it's a really deeply important part of my path in my life in general. Like, it's been brutally hard the first month in US, to be honest, but it's fine because, 6-7 weeks in, it's much better than the first 2 or 3 weeks in. And it is what I wanted. Like, it is where I need to be right now. Like, it just feels really aligned, just like as aligned as I felt when I was in Perth. And yeah, of course, like, you're lonely and you're sad and you just like, I don't have my favorite this and that, and I don't have my, preferred massage therapist or chiropractor or whatever. Like, people I can see, like, I think the people thing is a really big one, especially with the time zones. It's not like ideal. But like, when you get presented with these things, you can either take and jump and push yourself into the deep water and figure out if you can swim or not. Or you can spend the rest of your life wondering what would have happened if you have taken that opportunity or not. And like, the funny thing is that the opportunities keep reappearing for me. Like, without me even, like, through the last 10 years or whatever, 12 years, like, they kept on popping up in my life, and I could have taken it at any one of those stages. And honestly, yes, life is short. Like, I mean, yeah, you have a ton of time, but like, in reality, if you really want something, just do it. Like, why not? Why not? Otherwise, you just be frustrated forever and ever, thinking, why the hell did I not do it? When it was presented right in front of me, and I knew that deep down that was something I wanted to experience and learn from, and there was something for me here in this next step. And I can't, when I moved here and I was thinking of moving here, I have like this big fat list, like scroll and scroll and scroll for days on what I want to do and experience here and try here, in terms of, education, in terms of places to visit or races to do, or I don't know, whatever, things to do, or go scuba dive, or go cycling, or go running, or just, go mountaineering or climbing, or just whatever. But in reality, I feel like I have that big fat list, but at the same time, I'm not like excessively gripping onto it either. Like, I am open. I'm here to learn. I'm here to experience the magic that for some insane reason has pulled me here. And clearly I need to be here for that. And I am curious to see what will come of this whole experience. I'm trusting it, and I am very happy to be here. Stay tuned.